When local growers put great food on Tennessee tables, that's living green. Join us as we find the fun side of the family farm, stomp grapes, carve pumpkins, and feed the baby. Plus, we go Italian with country giant DJ Gator Harrison and Chef Gary Brewer. Run an alarming vegetable test and consider the mighty onion. For garden treats, affordable feasts, and good news that's all green, it's Live Green Tennessee right here and coming up next.
This program is brought to you in part by
Tennessee Department of Agriculture. This fall, there's fun worth finding just about every day at Tennessee farms, farmers markets, fairs, and festivals. You'll find corn mazes, pig races, farm animals and friendly faces, honey to eat, and fall colors that are a feast for the eyes. Whether you're looking for the perfect pumpkin or just a good scare, find yourself on a Tennessee farm with picktnproducts.org.
and by the generous support of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Connecting the grower to the buyer, the country to the city, and smart shopping with a healthy lifestyle. It's Live Green Tennessee.
Hello, I'm Melinda Kiefer, and I'm proud to be your host for Live Green Tennessee, a one-hour tour of Tennesseans who are seeking the benefits of thinking, eating, and living green. Did you know that if Cookeville's 10,000 families spent just $10 a week on locally grown foods, that would keep over $5 million right here at home each year? And that's just Cookeville. How lucky are we that all of Tennessee is a virtual paradise of locally produced farm goods? As a lot of new families find out, that $10 a week isn't much when it comes to feeding baby. Comparing popular brands with homemade baby food finds commercial foods to be many times more expensive. Luckily, we didn't have to look very far for how-to advice. Amanda Collier is a new mom, and you've seen her work here as a writer and producer for the WCTE family. But when it comes to her own family, her productions come in the form of fresh, organic baby food for baby Grady.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and I'm here to show you that homemade baby food is easy to make with things that you have in your own home. Okay, this pumpkin I have washed, and to get rid of all the grit and dirt that was on it, this is a sugar pumpkin or pie pumpkin that I got from a farmer. And the method I'm going to show you for this pumpkin is a baking method. You can also boil it, but baking is the best way, I think. You can apply this to any kind of winter fruit or stone fruit. Kind of take the notch off the top. Watch your hands to make sure that you don't cut yourself. You can also make your own pumpkin pie with this recipe if your baby does not like pumpkin. But it's a pretty good vegetable, and it's a good vegetable to carry on and give your baby their first spices. And from here, I'm going to cut it in half and take the seeds out. The thing I like about making baby food for Grady is that I know what he's eating. I mean, all the commercial foods are really good and everything, but I think helping him to eat locally is helping his immune system because he's getting all those good pollens and food sources from this area. This one is clean. You can see there's a little darkening where the blossom end was. I'm just going to notch that off. So I do have my 2 halves of the pumpkin cleaned and face down in an inch of water. All right, so I'm going to put this in the oven, 400 degrees, for about 40 minutes. And you'll know it's done because it'll start to smell like pumpkin pie just a little bit, and it'll be puckery on top. Okay, so now I've got my pumpkins out of the oven. You'll see that they're a little puckery. I've cooled them so that I can touch them. All right, well, I'm just going to peel the skin off because it's so easy to do. I'm going to puree them in my food processor, but you can use a blender. Even if you're doing a finer puree, a blender may be easier than a food processor to use. Puree this until it's pretty fine consistency. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid. You can add any liquid that your baby is drinking right now. I'm doing water, but you could do breast milk or juice or whatever, cooking liquid. Added about a half a cup of water, and I've just got this to a consistency that my son is used to. At this stage, he's 8 months old. I'm going to put this in ice cube trays, and now the reason I'm using ice cube trays is because They're each about an ounce. That way I don't waste as much. If you don't have ice cube trays, you could certainly line a cookie sheet and drop tablespoonfuls onto the cookie sheet and place in your freezer, and then once they're frozen solid, you could place in a storage bag or container. But for a half a pumpkin, probably about a 3-pound pumpkin, I'm gonna have a full tray, which is at least 2 cups for this specific ice cube tray. You can buy commercial ice cube trays or ice cube baby cubes, but this is cheap. It's economical, and I have them around the house. And for Grady, right now he's eating probably about 3 cubes each. I would mix pumpkin with any other fruit, like he's eating plums and peaches right now. You could mix it with his cereal. I purchased the pumpkin for $1.50 from a local farmer. It's about 3 pounds. I'm probably going to get 2 cubed trays out of this, and this will feed Grady. This will be a week's worth of 1 meal at daycare for him for 75 cents. So not only is it cost efficient, but it's a really good way to help us all eat locally, including our littlest ones. So I'm gonna pop this in the freezer so we can enjoy it later.
That Grady's one lucky baby. You know, when you're hollowing out that pumpkin, you might want to get in touch with your creative side. We recently dropped in on Chris Ballinger to see what carving pumpkins can be all about. Chris is a member of the Cluster Pluckers Bluegrass Band, as well as a noted scrimshaw artist. She was kind enough to share some pumpkin carving secrets.
I got this pumpkin a few days ago at a local nursery. I really like carving on big pumpkins like this. It gives me a lot more room to play. I like the surface to be as smooth as possible, and this is a beautiful, waxy, smooth pumpkin. Because I do a lot of carving on the surface, and to do that, it works best to be smooth like this, not ridged like most pumpkins are. I don't like to cut the top off like most people do because it just kind of ruins it. So I cut the bottom out of the pumpkin instead of the top. This little thing right here is, you can get it in the pumpkin carving kits, and it is great for getting up inside and scraping all the goop out from inside the pumpkin. It's rounded on one side, so it just fits really nicely in there, and you can get it nice and clean. This way is so much easier because you just put your candle or your light there and just set it down on it. Once I get the pumpkin all cleaned out, I like to try to come up with a design of some sort, and I usually will just sketch something out on a piece of paper. I figured this time I would do like a dad and a son skeleton roasting marshmallows on a campfire underneath the full moon with a tree and maybe even an owl. All of this right here on this pumpkin. All right, because a pumpkin is a round surface, it's not a flat surface, if you want to trace something on it, it needs to be flexible. So I used a paper plate and just held it on there, and I trace around it with this pen, which is just a really sharp little pen. The ink doesn't even really come out of it, but it makes, you know, a mark in the surface of this pumpkin because it's so waxy that I can see. So I like to have some kind of reference, just to, because I'm a detail freak. So I'm not going to try to make it exact or anything, but I just like to know that there's 2 bones in the forearm and there's 2 bones in the leg. And then I just freehand just start drawing, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to just do a real simple outline of the different parts of the drawing that I did. I'm going to put a couple of tree branches that are going to go in front of the moon, which adds a nice 3-dimensional touch when I get it carved. I like to do a lot of surface carving, not all the way through. I have an X-Acto tool with just a sharp pointed blade on it. And like for this moon that I am going to put on here, I'm going to go in and I'm going to just go around the moon, and anything that's going to go in front of the moon, like the tree branches. I cut a line, I don't know, maybe a ½ inch deep, all the way around the moon. And this gives me, when I start scooping off the surface, It gives my blade something to come up against, and it makes a really nice clean cut. And I'm also going to put, a marshmallow. Because this skeleton and his son are roasting marshmallows over a campfire. It seemed like a fall thing to do, so that's why I chose that. But now I want to scoop the skin off and expose the flesh underneath. And a little flat blade like that works really well. Start going at it and it pops off in pieces, and when it hits that cut that I made around there, it stops. The deeper you cut, the more light comes through, and so you can actually get a very 3D kind of effect. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the daddy skeleton over on this side. So I just take the same sharp pointed tool that I had before, and I start cutting. I do it all freehand. I just kind of look at a drawing to get an idea. The first blade I used was just a really sharp triangular shaped blade. The second one was a flat blade. But now I've switched to a V-groove blade. There's his vertebrae. Well, there's his sternum. And then he's got his collarbones or whatever. Get his arm coming out of here. His elbow. The two bones of the forearm like I talked about. He's holding on to that marshmallow stick. There's his hand. I guess he needs some ribs. And there's his upper body. I should have been a surgeon. His pelvis bone. I don't worry about getting a lot of detail. I'm gonna cut his legs, and then we'll be done with him. I spent a couple more hours, maybe 2.5, maybe even 3 more hours, finishing off this pumpkin. I took quite a while just kind of cleaning it all up and, you know, getting it ready to go. I did make this pretty deep because it's such a big, thick pumpkin. It really needs to be cut deep for the light to come through. Anyway, it's done. It looks like this when you have light on, but it takes on a whole new look when you turn the lights off, and that's what we're going to do right now, and light it up. I pretty much stuck to the drawing and didn't veer from that much. I carved the dad and the moon first. Here's the dad roasting his marshmallow underneath the full moon, and I carved this fire. I did it in lots of different depths. Some are just kind of glowing through, just like fires are, you know. Of course, I had to do the little boy, and he's all excited about that marshmallow that just came out of the fire. And he's about ready to jump up and grab it, I think, off the stick. I did him underneath a big old tree, and the bark of the tree I just cut on lots of different levels to give it lots of texture. And the branches going up in front of the moon and all, and then put a great horned owl on there. He's a little small, but but there he is. Happy Halloween!
You know, right now is the time to buy your Halloween pumpkin, and Tennessee is full of farmers market that offer these and all sorts of seasonal treats. One recent rainy weekend, WCTE dropped in on the Overton County Farmers Market in Livingston.
I'm Lois Jackson, and I've been coming down here a couple of years.
I'm Kenneth Bilber. I've been coming to the market roughly 18 years, between May and September, October.
Yeah, my name's Otis Porter. Me and my wife been coming here ever since they built it.
I'm here 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday.
I come every morning and every day at lunch.
I've been here every day for the last 3 months. Got some apples right now. It's fall stuff. A lot of little old squash and gourds and, you know, fall stuff.
Oh, we have ripe tomatoes, green tomatoes, greens,
Apples, tomatoes, beans,
potatoes, onions.
some canned goods.
Good tomatoes and some canned stuff, honey, sorghum.
Well, we've had about everything all summer.
Yeah, when it rains, we really don't need to pick a whole lot of stuff because the women don't want to get their hair wet.
I'm here 6 days a week, whether it's raining or snowing, it don't matter.
They're going to put us a roof on out there, and they'll be able to do better next year, they're telling us. And they build some nice bathrooms and pay the parking lot, so it's getting better.
It's a really good thing, I think. It's a way for a lot of people that's got extra produce to get rid of it.
Well, it supports the farmers of the county and gives them an outlet to market their goods.
There's a lot of people that's not able to grow a garden or can't grow a garden, and they need fresh produce. I like meeting people.
Mostly meeting the people, talking to the people.
To be with the people, the older people, and a lot of younger people too, you know. Just to socialize with people, mostly. There ain't a whole lot of money to be made in it.
Nah, nothing other than just the normal things that go on daily. Nothing exciting.
You meet a lot of really nice people. Some of them not so nice. But most everybody's really nice, and everybody seems proud to see us.
For a while there, when the people got they couldn't come, after 4 or 5 years, they got down home, couldn't come out to get nothing. I would take it to their doorstep to them, because I know they would come if they was able. I'd give it to them. And I just figure one day I'll be that way, and somebody might bring me about a piece of corn or something. This dirt around here grows good watermelons, cantaloupes, everything tastes good this year. Everybody loved it. And corn. We had a good year.
Okay, so you've just returned from the farmer's market with a sack full of seasonal goodies. What's next? Well, country giant morning DJ Gator Harrison invited Crossville's Halcyon Days restaurant chef Gary Brewer into the kitchen to learn some tips on cooking local and eating green.
Hey guys, welcome into the Green Galley. I'm Gator. Again, we're going to help you live green Tennessee, eat green Tennessee. This is my buddy Gary from Halcyon Days Restaurant in Crossville, Tennessee. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Now, when we say eat green Tennessee, I don't mean the leftovers that you leave in the fridge for way too long. That's not the green we're talking about. We're talking about healthy and homegrown. So, what are we going to be making today, Gary?
Chicken Marsala.
Are you sure you want to attempt to teach me how to cook chicken Marsala?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. What kind of ingredients we got? How do we get started here, Gary?
Got to turn the pan on.
Woo, there we go. Now that's a fire. All right, so we got the fire going.
Yep. Cook on medium.
All right.
And we add olive oil first of all.
Ah, now is it just regular old olive oil in a fancy bottle? Or
extra virgin olive oil.
All right, very good. So you oil up the pan real good.
Then you got to dredge the chicken.
All right.
And flour.
So what kind of chicken we using here?
Oh, it's chicken breast from Purdue in Monterey, Tennessee.
Very good. See, living green Tennessee, eating green. Homegrown stuff we're going to be cooking for you here today. This is the same stuff that you can go out and get. Real easy to make, I'm assuming, right, Gary?
Very easy to make.
All right. Okay, so we've got this cooking. How long do we get to let this simmer?
Saute it on both sides for about probably 3 or 4 minutes a side.
All right, very good. Well, tell us about Halcyon Days. Tell us about the restaurant as you lead us through cooking here.
It's located in Crossville, Tennessee. Right. It's a great place.
So when I get in trouble with my wife and she's saying, "Oh, you need to take me to some place nice," I think Halcyon Days Restaurant, right? So now, how long before we start adding some more stuff here? Because we got a lot of
we're going to saute some vegetables too.
All right.
Some squash.
Vegetables. See, it's all about healthy.
And zucchini. And onions. And I'm going to add some extra virgin olive oil to this pan.
Okay.
You want to chop some vegetables?
Absolutely. Anytime I get to use the knife, it's scary for you guys at home. All right. So, all right. What do you want me to just chop them up? How do you want me to chop them?
Yeah.
You're in charge. You're my foreman. You tell me what to do, man.
Chop them in circles.
In circles?
Yeah, well.
Okay, slices. Okay, I started to say, man, I'm not sure about the old circle thing here. Is that big enough?
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right. So very good. So where did you learn how to cook? When did you? Because I'm looking at you, I'm thinking linebacker, not hey chef. How did that happen?
It was something I kind of wanted to do when I was younger, and I stuck with it. So I basically learned from practice, really.
Was it mom in the kitchen? You're going, I can do that.
Mom, grandma.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're going to compare yourself to grandma? You're a brave man.
No.
Really? She's the cook, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about some of this. So is this, I'm assuming, homegrown Tennessee stuff that you got?
Where'd you get in Crossville, actually. The mushrooms are raised in Monterey, and the onions and zucchini and squash are raised in Crossville.
Really?
Yeah.
And you've not had good vegetables, so you've had Tennessee vegetables.
No, that's true. I'm going to flip the chicken.
Do I need to dice these up, or are these long mushrooms good? This actually looks
I like them that way, actually.
You like them this way?
Yep.
All right, it kind of looks like the ones that my 3-year-old kicks in the backyard. We grow mushrooms and not even mean to at our house. All right, so far I'm not bleeding at my house. That's a good chopping experience. Now, at your house, are you married?
Yes.
You are married?
I'm married, and I have 3 children.
3 kids?
Yep.
And does the wife have you cooking at home?
She actually does most of the cooking.
Does she really?
She's actually a better cook than I am.
Well, why isn't she here, Gary? Come on. All right.
I have 3 kids.
That explains it. That explains it. So she's a better mom than you are. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you.
Better mom and a better cook than I am.
So how long does this meal normally make?
About 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes
Yeah.
if you're making this at home. So moms, getting off work, you got a lot of stuff to do, a lot of stuff going on. 15 minutes, and you can make this fine meal.
I'm going to take this out and put this in the oven.
All right. So you said chicken...
Marsala?
Marcello. Where does that word come from?
Marsala is a place in Italy. Well, it's wine.
I got you. Okay.
Use,
so it's wine in a place in Italy. We thought we would name some chicken after it. Okay, good. Because Southern boys, you know, we don't use this terminology a lot. That's a strange word to me.
No, we use wine from Marsala, Italy.
Okay, what are we adding in here?
Beef broth.
Beef broth.
Yeah,
and where did that chicken go? I mean, where did you do the chicken's in the oven? All right, so how long do we bake that in the oven?
It takes about 10 minutes.
10 minutes or so? Okay.
Yeah, this in here.
There you go. You know when it smokes up, it's going to be good. Waft the smell over here, Gary. I'm ready.
Okay.
All right.
And then we added about 1/4 cup of Marsala wine. Sweet Marsala wine.
Sweet Marsala wine.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then,
all right, what's this?
About 1/2 cup of heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
Yes.
We just get that at the store. It's just called heavy cream when we go in, right?
They're milk, half and half, and heavy cream.
All right, very good. And so what is this that you're making? This is just sort of
a sauce that goes on top of the chicken.
Oh, I like it. It smells really good.
Right. Now, about 3 of these slices of mushrooms you need to dice up because they're going in here too.
Okay, 3. Okay. You're asking me to do math, Gary. Do you know what you're actually asking here?
Math with a knife.
All right, I can do this. I can do this. I have a White County education.
I'm going to add a pinch of black pepper to this sauce.
Speaking of local folks, thanks to Sparta for my education. Look at that dice right there.
It's beautiful.
All right, you tell me when to add and we'll add it in.
Okay, go ahead, add it in.
All right. You should know I have thoroughly washed my hands.
Me too.
Okay, very good. Ooh, that looks good, that looks good. My wife is a mushroom fanatic. She would love this.
I love mushrooms.
So I can go home, I can impress my wife by making this, right?
Yes, she'll like it.
Okay.
All right, need to add the vegetables to this pan.
Okay.
That's hot.
So you add in the vegetables. Yeah. Is there any secret way to, you know, putting these in? No? Just kind of dump them in? Carefully. Don't burn yourself?
Yeah.
All right.
Add some of the squash that's spotted.
Okay. So what other kind of dishes do you guys make?
We have
Halcyon. Really? When you say fine dining.
Beef tournedos, beef medallions,
right?
Ribeyes, steaks, fillets.
Well, we're definitely going to have you back. I'm a steak man. I love steaks. So, all right, good.
Yeah, I love steaks too.
Chicken's healthy though.
Lasagna.
Right.
We have all kinds of ravioli, all kinds of pasta.
Cool. So it sounds like there's kind of an Italian lean to Halcyon Days, right?
Yeah, there is.
Are we going all of these in there?
That's fine. I'm going to add a pinch of salt to them.
Okay, any special salt or just table salt?
Just table salt.
Table salt, all right.
Use kosher salt if you want.
I don't even know what kosher salt is, Gary. That's why they've got me in the green galley. I have no idea what we're doing, so they figure if I can do it, anybody can do it. So if you guys are cooking along at home with us, real simple and easy, it seems so far.
A couple of pinches of garlic, just ground.
All right. So I'm guessing this is not a good make-out meal, right? Not a good first date meal? Is that
it's not going to be too
Because
strong.
me and Gary are not kissing afterwards, so we should be good. All right, so we got our vegetables going, we got our chicken bacon, we got our sauce simmering.
You're going to turn these so they don't burn.
I've got to, is that what these are?
Yep.
All right, very good.
I'll take these. You can use those.
Okay, you're not going to trust me, I see. I don't look like I can handle 2 tongs, do I, Gary? You're a smart man. Now, are you from this area? You from around here?
I'm from Crossville. Lived in Crossville for almost 20 years.
See, hometown food, hometown friendly, hometown guy. We keep it hometown. Live Green, Tennessee. That's what it's all about. All right, am I doing all right?
You're doing great.
All right. I'm sure I probably missed a few. Is that okay?
Yeah. Just keep them moving
Boy, that smells good. So we just keep them moving the whole time, or?
Yeah.
All right.
So they don't burn.
All right, does it look like I know what I'm doing at home? Because I had no idea. This is fun, though. And that's the thing I noticed about cooking. A lot of times we don't take the time, you know, to get our family, but it becomes something new that we do at our house. It's dinner time. We get the family in. Everybody's got a job, including our 3-year-old. We usually let her chop the vegetables. I'm just kidding. We don't do that, no. But, you know, she gets the stuff out of the fridge and gets us some materials, and she'll sit on the counter and tell us what we're doing wrong. And it can be a fun family adventure, plus you're all eating healthier and you're eating better. Boy, that smells good. So how long do you cook the vegetables here? Are we just looking for a browning? What are we doing?
Yeah, about 6 to 8 minutes.
6 to 8 minutes?
On medium. A little lower than medium.
Okay. Now these ones that are brown, is that what, I'm not flipping them fast enough? Do you need to take over? It's almost like you can see a chef when you come in here. It's like the chef is going, oh, come on, you got to hurry up. It's like your wife trying to help you drive is what it is. Okay. Keep flipping?
Toss it.
Oh, toss it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Dude, okay. All right, that's all I'm trying. 1, because it's hot. And 2, I have sissy hands, not man hands like he has. All right, good. So what, the sauce is bubbling up here?
Yeah, you got to reduce it for about 10 minutes, and it gets fairly thick.
Okay. And so this stuff just simmers and gets ready for waiting for the chicken, pretty much, right?
Yep. Just waiting for the chicken to get done.
All right. So you got any kids, Gary?
I have 3 children, a girl.
Oh, you mentioned
and 2 boys.
Really? Any of them kind of get excited about coming down to the restaurant, watching Dad do his thing?
No. No, at home, yeah.
They like the results,
they
though.
Like cooking at home.
They like the results. I see.
Work is work.
Yeah. So what are some of your favorite foods that are grown right here in Tennessee that you guys use at Halcyon Days?
I love mushrooms.
Right.
And I love vegetables and everything.
Sure.
Like that.
And there you can tell a difference between store-bought and fresh. If you're not using fresh vegetables and fresh ingredients that are made right here in Tennessee, you are missing an incredible burst of flavor that you won't get at the grocery store. You won't get at the frozen food sections or the way they package them. All right.
This is done.
Okay. I'm laying down on my job here, aren't I?
It's okay.
Okay.
That's why we cook on low heat, medium heat.
Well, it looks great. So when do we get to combine the two? That's what I want to do.
Right now.
All right.
Put it on the plate. Put it on the plate.
Okay.
Take the chicken out of the oven.
All right, let's get the chicken. We got the vegetables. We have the sauce. All we need now is a hungry family. Lucky for me, I'm the only family here that gets to eat. So, all right.
Put the chicken on the plate.
Now this chicken, again, is cooked for how long?
In the pan, about 6 to 8 minutes.
Okay.
And in the oven, about 10 minutes.
All right, it looks very good. So now you have the sauce. We're going to add the sauce in.
A little hot here.
Okay. And again, the ingredients in the sauce, in case they missed it earlier.
Marsala wine, beef broth.
Mushrooms,
heavy
obviously.
cream. Portobello mushrooms. And a little black pepper.
Very good. Well, that looks incredible, and you add in the vegetables. This looks really good. It's the Green Galley, Live Green, Tennessee, and if you want to, oh man, eat green, eat healthy, eat affordable, and eat Tennessee, this is the place to come. Oh, there I go. I'm ready to jump in, and I get to try this. Chicken Marcel. Now, you don't have to eat this with like an Italian accent, do you?
No, no.
Oh, are you kidding me? That's so soft. I don't have to worry about it. Hang on, I'm gonna get a little more sauce in here. I'm a sauce guy. Gary, Halcyon Days, you want fine dining like this? Oh, wow. Go to Halcyon Days. I can't eat with my mouth full. Live green, Tennessee, live like no one else. Again, thanks for being in the galley here with Gator and Gary from Halcyon Days. Thank you very much. Eat up, Tennessee.
You know, we got a lot of reaction to Eli Schuster's Farmer for a Day segment in our last show. But less a farmer than a gadget guy, Eli has a new role here and has decided to prove the theory that when it comes to fruits and vegetables, there's more than one kind of juice.
Hi, I'm Eli the Gadget Guy, and welcome to the Green Gadget Lab. Ta-da! Now, we're going to make potato batteries. And what you need, a potato, copper wire, you also need 2 nails. And finally, you need 2 of these, pennies. Now that we have all our supplies, it's about time we made the battery. So, we take this nail and we wrap the copper wire around here. And now, you need to wrap the other part around the penny, like this. And then, we put in the nail inside the potato. Then, we take the penny with the wire wrapped around it and then stick it in the empty potato. Ta-da! When you're done with that, you can put a nail inside the potato with the penny in it. Then you take this penny and you wrap the copper wire around the penny. So you got this. Shove this penny that has a wire, then the one that doesn't have the penny. Then this penny has to be connected to the nail. You'll have to wrap this around the nail on the other potato. Yippee! Okay. And now, since you have this connected, now you have a potato battery. So all you have to do is you have to connect this to the electric thing. Tick-tock, it's party o'clock. Woo-hoo, it works. Now you got you some potato batteries. Woo!
You know, time was the family farm fed the world. But as rural populations moved to work in the cities, many family farms became threatened. In surviving these challenging times, many a farmer found a new source of income in education, entertainment, and in the curiosity of those who wished to spend a day down on the farm.
About 20 years ago, if you said the word agritourism, hardly anyone would know what agritourism was, especially here in Tennessee. Many years ago, the word originated from Italy. The Italians have a big desire to bring people in, tourism, to their country. About 10 years ago, the Tennessee Agritourism Initiative was formed, and 12 different organizations came together to make agritourism a priority in Tennessee. They realized that farmers and tourists alike needed to come together. According to the 2007 U.S. Census, there were about 24,000 agritourism operations in the United States, and Tennessee had 600. Out of those 600 operations, there are many different agritourism farms in Tennessee, including on-farm bed and breakfasts, on-farm weddings, corn mazes, and even today we have haunted corn mazes, which are fun attractions for the entire family. Agritourism is really about bringing the family together and creating memories. Agritourism operations are destinations, fun places for you to go to. A lot of people are looking for places to go to for vacations, and they want to try to stay in the state of Tennessee because of all the economic turnfall. But now, one good way to stay in Tennessee, have a fun time, make memories with your family is with agritourism.
My name is Karen McCulley. My husband and I, Jimmy, own Amazing Acres of Fun. We also have two boys, Daniel and Tyler, 18 and 21, that help us on the farm as well. This farm is fourth generation right now, just a few years to be a century farm. We have 215 acres, and we do strawberries in the springtime. The last of April, all of May and June is our harvest time on our strawberries. We offer you pick or we pick, and in the fall time we have our fall harvest fun with our pumpkins and corn mazes and all of our other activities. 10 years ago we were struggling with our dairy, and we had gone to a meeting and someone told about a corn maze, and I just thought that sounded like a lot of fun, and the whole idea sounded like it would just be a neat idea. So we worked on it all that summer, and I went to a couple meetings learning about corn mazes, talked to a lot of people, and that was how we got started. When we first started our corn maze 10 years ago, we were pretty primitive. We had oil lamps for light back here. We had one corn maze that everybody did. Now we offer 3 corn mazes that offer something for the little kids, just learning to read, learning their animal sounds and colors. And then we have our progressive, a little bit bigger maze called the Big Leap. And in that maze we have clues about agriculture, just so kids can learn where their food comes from, learn the products that are produced on the farm. And then of course we have our older maze, our bigger maze, that's got 3 levels in it. 2 levels, it gets progressively harder. The 3rd level has no clues in it. Our activities that we have Dixie the milk cow. This has been a really fun thing. Of course, we milked cows for a long time, and that is fun for kids. If you've never milked a cow, come to Amazing Acres and we'll let you milk our cow. We also have the duck races. We use old-fashioned wheel pumps to move the water to cause the ducks to go. We also have a pipe slide. It's just for fun. It's called the Hillbilly Slide. It's placed on the side of a hill, and it's just a lot of fun. We have pig races. Pioneer Days, they had pig races, and that's just great fun. Everybody comes and cheers on some pig that they want to win and watch it to the finish line. We've had visitors from Florida, Michigan, Memphis. Some of them were on vacation, and some of them had a planned trip here. We get Kentucky, and those are just the ones that we know of, and a lot of them come back now every year. The ones from Florida, they come back every year to visit their family, and must be fall break or something for them. They come up every year, their family does.
My name is Bo Woods, here at Autumn Acres Corn Maze and Pumpkin Patch in Crossville, Tennessee. We started this business, me and my wife. She was the one that had the idea. She had been tooling with the ideas of corn mazes and seen them on the internet. And both having agricultural backgrounds is how we kind of tied this into our business. She also had a master's in education, and not knowing if she really wanted to teach or not full time, that's when we started our first year of the corn maze. And growing a little bit every year, we have where she can just work the corn maze business and not have to teach. Year 1, we pretty much had 6 acres of maize and a pumpkin patch. We had a tent that we used for the picnic shelter and a small tent we used for the concession on year 1. Year 8, we are at 12 acres of maize, over 6 miles of trail, 10 plus acres of pumpkins, We have the jumping pillow, which is new for this year. We have a full concessions where we do fish fries on Friday and Saturday night. Homegrown sweet corn right here on the farm that we serve. We have a petting zoo. We have a big mega tunnel slide. We do about 10,000 school tours, kids, and total with school tours and general public, we're probably 25,000, 30,000 people. And I know we've had some families from Canada, Florida, South Carolina, and we get people from all over the United States. The thing I like the best is when the school kids come and you see the smile on their faces carrying their big pumpkin out of here, you know. It's like a kid going into a candy store for the first time, you know. You come out there with a smile on their face. And just educating the kids, you know, that's the thing that I like. You know, most kids, like I say, never even been to a farm, you know, and they come on here and the kids are just, it's all about, teaching the next generation.
Not many people realize that agriculture is the #1 industry in the state of Tennessee. The #2 industry is tourism. And when you put those two together, you have a great combination for agritourism.
You'll be surprised how many people and kids that come out here that's never even seen a cornfield or a pumpkin patch or livestock on a farm. So the two things that I really like about agritourism is it's helping the family farmer, the hobby farmer keep their farm, generate some income, and teach all the people that has never been to a farm, how a farm works.
Agritourism to us is just an opportunity for us to show our farm, to share our farm with other people, letting them experience a lot of the things that we experience and a lot of older people experienced on the farm growing up, and help them to learn about agriculture and learn where their food comes from and have a good time.
Agritourism is not only just helping the farmers, but also the communities. It's bringing in families to communities who want to spend money on their children. When they come into those communities, they'll have to buy gas, they'll have to buy food, and all of this money brings in extra income to the communities. And statistics show that for every dollar spent at an agritourism operation, 35 cents is spent in the community.
A man come last year, brought his 18-month-old boy, or just a little boy, and he said that 10 years ago, I guess, he must have come to our maze, and he said of all the school trips that he ever took, this is the only one he remembered, and he wanted to bring his little boy back. So it's little stories like that that keep you going, motivate you, encourage you, and that's what we want to offer here. It's just a place for families to create unforgettable memories.
If you've been around Tennessee very long, you may well have heard one of Dr. Opp Walker's talks on the medicinal benefits of common plants. A doctor, pharmacologist, and an avid home gardener, Dr. Opp has made it his business to know plants and especially superfoods like the mighty onion.
Welcome to the Medicine Garden. I'm Dr. Opp Walker, and today we'll consider the medicinal attributes of the onion. Onions rank among the world's oldest vegetables. In terms of popularity, they rank 3rd in growth throughout the world, preceded only by tomatoes and cabbage. The Chinese have utilized onions medicinally for over 5,000 years. Some research suggests that onions originated in Iran and Pakistan. We do know, however, that onions have been used medicinally since 3500 BC. The Egyptians utilized onion juice as an antiseptic, much as we'd utilize rubbing alcohol today. They regarded the onion sacred above all foods. All the artwork from the Egyptian tombs show the onion covered in gold. The pharaoh, Ramesses IV Mummy, even had little onions in each eye socket. The Egyptians believed that the onions provided sight and breath in their afterlife. The Greeks utilized onions before each Olympic game. They believed in consuming large amounts of onions and onion juice, believing that it gave them the strength and endurance, as well as prevent thirst during their athletic competition. Roman gladiators rubbed their bodies in onion juice, believing it would firm up their muscles. Roman legions also carried onions into the provinces of Germany and England. In the Middle Ages, the three main vegetables of the European cuisine were beans, cabbage, and onions. Onions were utilized as food by both the wealthy and the poor, but the physicians also recommended onions for snake bites, hair loss, and to alleviate headaches. Onions were also utilized as wedding gifts and rent payments. The Pilgrims brought onions with them when they came to North America on the Mayflower. Onions were among the foods that wouldn't spoil during the winter months. However, they found that a wild strain of onions already grew on the North American continent, which the Native American Indians utilized in a variety of ways. Superfoods are foods that have one or more major medicinal attributes. Onions, along with their relative garlic, are considered the most medicinal of all vegetables. Therefore, onions are superfoods. Onions contain all essential vitamins except vitamin B12. Onions have been shown to kill many of the common bacteria, including the foodborne bacteria Salmonella and E. coli. Onions cooked in milk also gives a soup that breaks up chest congestion. Onions are potent antioxidants. Antioxidants protect the cells from damage or death, also strengthens the capillary walls, giving a degree of protection against bruising. Eating raw onion or drinking onion juice is a very effective way to prevent asthma attacks. Small children may benefit by breathing in the aroma of a freshly cut onion. The maximum medicinal benefits are derived from the onion when eating it raw. Heat destroys many of the effects of the onion. Although onion soup is medicinal if breathed in while eating the soup. Shallots, a relative of the onion, have 10 times more medicinal value than does a Vidalia onion. In ranking of the medicinal value, shallots are number 1, yellow onions number 2, red onions number 3. I'm Dr. Op Walker. See you next time in the Medicine Garden.
Way back in the late 1800s, vineyards flourished in Tennessee. Back then, people believed grapes would be one of Tennessee's most important cash crops. But the 1919 prohibition ended all that. Just in the last 25 years, Tennessee grape growing and winemaking have seen a remarkable recovery. Over 30 Tennessee winemakers now offer award-winning wine for all taste. One of the newest is Delmonico Winery near Baxter.
Delmonico Winery was started by David and I. We found this 52-acre piece of land, and after we had planted a couple of acres at our house, we decided that we would plant more acres here and sell to the commercial wineries. However, after planting these, we decided to go ahead and open our own winery. The different variety of grapes that we have here on the property are Concord and Traminette, which are on their 3rd year, and we just got production off of them this year, so it takes 3 years for growth. And we also have the grafted grapes, the Chardonnay and the Cabernet Sauvignon. They have to be grafted because they won't grow on their own rootstock here in this part of the country. So they're grafted onto a rootstock that does grow in this area. Tennessee wineries are able to exist because we're part of the agricultural department of Tennessee, and that's why you have wineries in Tennessee. Until recently, the laws were that the wineries were required to buy 75% of their product from local growers. However, every year we were having to get J6 waivers to go outside of the state to purchase more than 75% of our product for our wines. However, the growers weren't growing enough, and the laws have been changed this past year that we can go outside of the state to purchase what we need. Even though the local growers are still selling us all the grapes that they can produce. The wines that we make here, we can produce about 1/3 of the grapes needed in our wines, and we can make 100% wines of that. We've got 3 varieties now that we're making with our own grapes here from Tennessee Products. That's the Concord, the Traminette, and the Whistle Stop Red. The Whistle Stop Red, there was in Indianapolis, the Indy competition, and it's an international competition. Wines all over the world are entered in that competition, and we did win a medal for our Whistle Stop Red, the Tennessee product. are stomping grapes. We're doing a practice session for our Harvest Festival. So we're practicing, we're setting up and practicing for that right now. And you can see Rachel and Janet are in the buckets. They are stomping their grapes.
What we're doing here is we're stomping grapes the old-fashioned way. And stomping grapes is merely separating the grapes from the skins. It creates the must, which is the basis for your wine. This is definitely the old-fashioned way, and thank goodness we now have machines to do it.
And Brent there has stomped his grapes and pressed his feet on his shirt to show that the grapes have came out of the vineyard, and it says, "I came, I stomped, I conquered."
I'm a winemaker from South Africa originally. I've been here now for just under a year. It's been a very, very interesting journey so far. Very complex, very exciting, very, very challenging. But a lot of people don't realize, coming from a place like South Africa, they think, well, Africa is Africa. It's very third world. But I can honestly say that South Africa probably has one of the most prestigious wine reputations as far as premium world wines are concerned. It has a very, very, very prestigious reputation in wine making and wine production. There's two particular wines which I'm very proud of and which I was actually exposed to for the very first time in my career. The first wine is a relatively dry white wine. It's called Vivance, and it's 100% Tennessee. So it's a wine that we produced solely from Tennessee vineyards and was made and bottled at Delmonico Winery and Vineyards. I find a lot of typical of this particular varietal, which is the varietal that's mainly in the Vivance. A characteristic amount of cut grass, green pepper, asparagus flavors that come off the wine. It's a very green character, which is to me very, very important for the style of wine that's being made. And it's very similar in character to Sauvignon Blancs, which is superb, I think. Well, the Whistle Stop Red is the second Tennessee wine that we've made and bottled and produced exclusively at Delmonico Winery and Vineyards. Unlike the Vivance, which is a white varietal wine, which is particularly enjoyed in Tennessee, the Whistle Stop Red is a blend of 3 American hybrid grapes, Cynthiana, Foch, and Steuben. The wine is very reductive. It needs a bit of air. It's very herbaceous on the nose. And this is one of our second biggest sellers. It's called the Whistle Stop Red. It's an extremely popular wine in Tennessee and actually throughout the States. Not because it's won an international medal, but because it's very quaffable, it's very popular, and it's got great red berry fruits on the palate, and people love it. So I think this is a winner, certainly. It's a lovely wine.
We're going to continue expanding here in our acreage of our vines. We've got the next 10 acres planned for next spring, and we will be using that for the wines that are the Tennessee wines on our wine list now. Cheers!
This month's Greenest Thumb goes out to Darla, who says, don't throw away your leftover coffee. Add some water to the pot, pour it on the plants, and watch them really grow. The diluted coffee works as a gentle, fast-acting fertilizer that inspires seed, fruit, and leaf production. Darla also recommends putting leftover coffee grounds around your rhododendrons and azaleas. The grounds slowly release nitrogen, and the acidity can do wonders for soil health. Earthworms love it, and the caffeine repels snails and slugs. But remember, too much caffeine can harm beneficial insects in your garden. Do you have a green tip that saves you money in the home, office, or garden? We want to know. Each month we'll feature Greenest Thumb on Live Green Tennessee. Visit wcte.org/greenthumb to post your tip. While you're there, you can read through and comment on some of your neighbors' tips and vote for your favorites. You can also email your tip to livegreen@wcte.org or call the number on your screen. Thanks for living green, Tennessee. To find all the information from the show you've seen tonight and more, go to our website, wcte.org, and remember to click on the ladybug for Live Green Tennessee. Also, be sure and pick up your copy of Local Table. It's your guide to food and farming in Middle Tennessee. It's free and it's available at businesses and restaurants across Middle Tennessee. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, and we'd love to hear from you. We hope you've enjoyed Live Green Tennessee, and we hope you'll join us next time when we gather up some Drippin' Springs honey, revisit the kitchen with Gator Harrison, talk nuts with Op Walker, and make another visit to the Gadget Lab, plus a whole lot more right here next time on Live Green Tennessee.
This program is brought to you in part by
Tennessee Department of Agriculture. This fall, there's fun worth finding just about every day at Tennessee farms, farmers markets, fairs, and festivals. You'll find corn mazes, pig races, farm animals and friendly faces, honey to eat, and fall colors that are a feast for the eyes. Whether you're looking for the perfect pumpkin or just a good scare, find yourself on a Tennessee farm with picktnproducts.org.
And by the generous support of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.